If I asked you to picture your dream thrift store fabric haul, what would you describe? I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle. I have found a lot of great thrift store fabric over the years, but yesterday was something else. And it's not what I would have described if someone had asked me that question because it never would have occurred to me. But the moment I saw it, I knew this fabric was coming home with me. I was at Goodwill. Goodwill keeps their fabric, if they have any, in the section with the bedding. It is usually overpriced. It is usually bags that are a mix of fabric that could be used for quilting and fabric that is absolutely not for quilting. I'm not going to buy a bag of half fake fur and felt and half what I hope might be decent quilting fabric. But I walked up and I saw this. There are batiks, there are neutrals, there are browns, there are oranges. This is folded like a quilter took it off of her sewing room shelves to donate it. And there were 5 bags. This is probably one of the less exciting bags because I was completely and totally in it for the autumn prints. I just can't. I don't have words for this. Usually when I'm evaluating thrift store fabric to decide if it's coming home with me or not, I will try to peek and see if there are exposed selvages that can give me a hint of whether it's from Joann's or the quilt shop. I might try to sniff it and see if there's a cigarette smoke or questionable odor. I wasn't even thinking, I went with my gut that this was good fabric that I wanted to bring home. Because look at it. I have got magazines and books full of autumn themed quilts and I haven't had the fabric for them. Most of my quilts I am making with whatever I stumbled across at thrift stores and estate sales. It is rare that I will go into a store and buy fabric specifically for a quilt. And I love quilting the way I do. I have no complaints, but finding all of these colors was like finding a vein of gold sparkling in an old dark mine. I am just giddy. And I can't wait to go through these and see what is in here. I am guessing at least 100 yards of fabric. The bags were $9.99 each, which for Goodwill is an unbelievably phenomenal price. It is all folded. I think these are decent size cuts. I'm not going to go through and do an unboxing where I hold up each individual piece of fabric, but I'm going to sort this all out so I can show you what I've got and how much I got for my money. And I cannot wait. It took everything I had not to rip into this in the car last night. Many, many hours later, the sun has set. I've fed the family dinner and sorted through all 5 bags, and I am back with an update, and I am stunned. I was hoping for 100 yards of fabric. I was being very conservative with my measurements. If it was a few inches over a yard, I rounded down. I was not trying to pad my numbers at all. 187 yards of fabric for $50. How? How does that make any kind of sense? Batik, I looked it up in Hoffman Batiks. Most of this is Hoffman Batiks. Sells for about $10 to $13 a yard. This just, it boggles my mind a little bit in the best possible way. I have got plenty to share with my mom with the quilting group. I'm going to make some quilts for me. I'm going to make some to donate. It will get used. This little bit here, which I did not count in my total, is cotton that was not batik. I thought when I picked these up that it was a mix, but no, it was almost all batiks. And there is also a little pile here of things I don't want and will donate back to the thrift store. There are a couple of pillowcases. There is a length of this weave that I'm not sure quite what it is, beyond not quilting cotton. This is some kind of utility fabric. It is okay fabric. I just don't need to keep the stuff in my sewing room that isn't what I plan on using. I tried to sort it all out by color, which with batiks is way harder than it sounds. I got it all laid out. Let me show you what is there. This is all batiks, mostly half yard and 1 yard cuts, mostly Hoffman, which I know because they have the tags on them. I don't have words for it. There's 187 yards here. There is so much possibility. Can you believe it? Are you as surprised as I am? What would you make with this? There were a very few pieces, probably less than half a dozen of them. She was doing fussy cutting. And this quilter, every now and then when I buy thrifted fabrics, I will get pieces that they fussy cut from right smack dab in the middle of the yardage. Now, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say maybe she was making art quilts and she needed that exact precise swirl of green. I don't understand it because when I am cutting fabric, I try to put my pieces close to the edge, very close together. If I'm doing clothes, I stay on grain line, sort of most of the time, kind of. I don't sew a lot of clothes. But this just feels so wasteful. Fortunately, there were only a couple of pieces that were this bad. There were a couple more that had some fussy cutting near the edges of the fabric, and it is used fabric. You can think you know what you're getting, but it is never guaranteed if you can't get a good look at it. I did comment at the beginning of the video that I never even thought to check for smells. This stuff smells like it is straight from the quilt shop. It is unreal. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me up in my attic sewing room. I'm going to go figure out how I am going to store this and do some research because I think maybe you're supposed to pre-wash batiks, but you're also supposed to pre-wash quilting cotton, and I don't do that. So I need to find out if this is like flannel or what exactly I need to be doing with it before I start cutting and making quilts, because I want to start cutting and making quilts. I'm Michelle. This is my Romantic Tangle. I'll be back with you with more videos very, very soon.